Today, household financial confidence on the blink again. Hello again, I'm Martin North from Digital Finance Analytics. Welcome to our latest post covering finance and property news with a distinctively Australian flavour. We released our latest household financial confidence report today, which draws data from our surveys to the end of November 2018, and it paints a pretty troubling picture. And by the way, if you value the content we produce, please do consider joining our Patreon program. Here is the link. Or make a donation via PayPal. Again, here is the link, so you can support our ability to continue to make great content. DFA has released the final dimensions from our household surveys to the end of November 2018, zeroing in on financial confidence. As is perhaps predictable, the overall index fell again, down to 87.8, well below the neutral setting and close to the record low we measured back in 2015. By way of background, these results are derived from our household surveys averaged across Australia. We have 52,000 households in our sample at any one time, and we include detailed questions covering various aspects of a household's financial footprint. The index measures how households are feeling about their financial health. To calculate the index, we ask questions which cover a number of different dimensions. We start by asking households how confident they're feeling about their job security, whether their real income has risen or fallen in the past year, their view on their costs of living over the same period, whether they have increased their loans and other outstanding debts, including credit cards, and whether they are saving more than last year. Finally, we ask about the overall change in net worth over the past 12 months, and by net worth we mean assets less outstanding debts. Property-owning household segments continue to react to the changed environment as prices weaken and mortgage availability tightens. Around half of all mortgage applications are being rejected due to the tighter conditions. Property investors are now very concerned about their financial status, and owner-occupied households' confidence continues to drift lower. That said, those not owning property, who are renting or living with family or friends, are still even less confident, so it's still true that property ownership bolsters financial confidence. One way to understand the confidence dynamic is to look at households in terms of their mortgage commitments. Property-owning households without a mortgage, about 1/3 of all households, remain more positive than those with a mortgage and those renting. These more confident households are more affluent, often with market investments and multiple income sources. Nevertheless, even these households are becoming more disenchanted with the state of things. Across the states, and we select the most populated states in this analysis, we see a bunching of confidence scores, with Victoria slipping towards Western Australia and Queensland, although New South Wales continues to slide a little too. South Australian households are sitting between New South Wales and Victorian households in terms of average confidence. The age bands continue to show significant separation, with younger households more concerned thanks to cost of living and larger mortgages, relative to older households, many of whom have smaller mortgages or no mortgages at all and larger asset bases. That said, those moving into retirement are also less confident compared with those who are still working. We can then dive into the elements which drive the survey. Looking at job security first, there was a 2% rise in those feeling less secure about their employment prospects to 29%, and an offsetting fall of 2% in those who were feeling about the same as a year ago at 55%. We continue to see many households employed in multiple part-time jobs to maintain income, and many are still seeking more employable hours, suggesting that underemployment remains a considerable issue. We also noted that significant numbers of workers were being encouraged to extend their leave over the upcoming holiday period. Turning to income, 2.87% reported a rise in real incomes in the past year, allowing for inflation, a fall of 0.81% on last month. There was a small rise in those saying that incomes had not changed in real terms at 42%, but 53% said that incomes had fallen in the past year. Living costs are still rising for many. Once again, electricity costs, healthcare costs, childcare costs, and food costs all registered. And 85% of households say their costs have risen. 9% said there'd been no change, and 5% said their costs had fallen. There was a small amount of relief from lower petrol prices. Given the high debt levels which exist in Australia, thanks to poor policy settings and lax lending standards, many households are concerned about their current debt levels. Just 1% were more comfortable than a year ago, and this was often associated with those who sold property and paid down their mortgages. 51% were as comfortable as a year ago, and 46% were more concerned, up 0.76% in the month. We continue to see debt levels rising amongst those with mortgages as they try to balance their finances and turn to short-term solutions such as credit cards, personal loans, or instalment payment options. Whilst overall levels of personal debt other than mortgages are falling, there is a concentration among those with property loans. And savings are taking a beating at the moment, firstly because many are raiding savings to maintain lifestyle, which explains the falling savings ratio. And they're also receiving significantly less on deposits at the bank as financial institutions seek to recover margin in the higher cost environment. The fact is, it is the soft underbelly of savers who are taking the brunt of the pain, yet many are very reliant on bank deposits for income, and the media hardly ever focuses on this significant group. All the attention is on the mortgage rate. Banks are, in my view, taking advantage of this, and it is the easy way out to protect their margins. 46% of households are less comfortable than a year ago, up 3%, and just 3% are more comfortable, down 0.8% on last month. So putting all this together, net worth is under pressure for many households. 34% of households said their net worth had improved in the past 12 months, which was down 4% on last month, while 33% said that their net worth had fallen, which was up 3% on the previous month. Falls in home prices, share prices, and other investments all hit home. This underscores the fading wealth effect that we are seeing as more react to this new environment. We also observed one other significant fact. Despite the tighter conditions and falling confidence, most households say they will still spend over the Christmas season and will simply pick up the bill in the new year. Now, this may be good news for retailers, but bad news for households down the track. Slow wages growth, falling home prices, and rising costs are combining to drag wealth and household confidence lower, and frankly, there's no end in sight. That's another reason why we think the RBA will not be lifting the cash rate anytime soon. We're going to update the index again next month. As always, if you like what you've seen here today, please share and like the post and add a comment or question. I read them all. And if you want to join the growing band of subscribers who receive alerts when we release new posts, do subscribe now by hitting the subscribe bell. And if you have already subscribed, many thanks. I really appreciate your support and participation. I'm Martin North, the Principal Analyst of Digital Finance Analytics. Many thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.